On today's video we gonna talk about what's really going on at Liverpool right now, because it's massive. Mohamed Salah's already got his head in Al-Hilal. Jayden Dans reminding everyone, including Arne Slot, why he's the future. January transfer hints dropping like crazy, and there's even talk of a huge deal already being done. But here's the kicker, it's not what you think. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll have the full story and all the drama that's about to shake Anfield to its core. Let's dive in. Alright, listen up, mate, let me tell you about Jayden Danns. This lad couldn't have chosen a better moment to find his form, and honestly, it's giving Liverpool a real headache, the good kind, though. You remember his breakthrough last season, right? Well, after being sidelined with injury for most of the first half of this campaign, he's back, and he's reminding everyone why we've been buzzing about him. Just look at this past week, he comes off the bench in the FA Cup against Accrington Stanley and bags a goal, then, like it's nothing, he nets another one 11 minutes into the U21's clash with Sparta Prague in the Premier League International Cup. You've got to admire that kind of hunger, and trust me, Arne Slot's paying attention. Now, here's the dilemma, do we send him out on loan for some first-team action, or do we keep him here to help with the title push? It's tricky, innit? Over the summer, there was talk of him heading to Plymouth Argyle, but then injury struck. Honestly, who knows what might have happened. He could have been the one keeping Wayne Rooney in the job over there. But now he's fit again, and Slot's not rushing into any decisions. He's been singing Dan's praises, not just for his talent, but for his mentality, and that's something you love to hear about a young player, right? Slot's been using him all over the pitch during training, even in positions you wouldn't expect for a striker. But here's the thing, Dan's gives it everything he's got, no matter where he's asked to play. That's the Liverpool spirit right there. And it's not just Dan's. Slot mentioned James McConnell as another example of the academy lad stepping up with the right attitude. It's clear the youth setup is doing something special, but back to Dan's, his potential is massive. Slot's convinced he's going to have a great career, whether that's here at Liverpool or somewhere else, but let's be real, mate, we're all hoping it's right here at Anfield. So, what's next? Chances in the Premier League or Champions League might be slim, but the FA Cup could be his stage, and if he keeps banging in goals like this, Slot won't be able to ignore him for much longer. With Nunez struggling a bit and rumours flying about his future, there's already talk among the fanbase that Danns deserves more opportunities. We've got just a couple of weeks to make a decision on him, but based on what he's showing right now, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays put. One thing's for sure, Jayden Danns is a name you'll be hearing a lot more of. Keep an eye on this one, mate, here's something special. Now let's talk about the big question on every Liverpool supporter's mind, Mohamed Salah. You know, our Egyptian king has been the heartbeat of this club for nearly a decade now, but it's starting to feel like his time at Anfield might be ticking down, and honestly, it's a tough pill to swallow, isn't it? Here's where we're at. Salah's contract runs out in less than 6 months, yeah, 6 months. That means he's free to start chatting with other clubs about his next move, and the whispers are getting louder. Al-Hilal in Saudi Arabia seems to be leading the race, but PSG's lurking too. Of course, there's still a chance he stays right here in Merseyside, but let's be real, it's feeling more uncertain by the day. Now, there's been a lot of talk about Salah's focus. On Tuesday, during that 1-1 draw with Nottingham Forest, Tariq Al-Jalama, the former Kuwait international, had a few things to say on beIN Sports. He reckons Salah's head wasn't in the game, claiming, "It's clear Salah was mentally absent from the pitch, his focus was on the blue shirt, Al-Hilal's shirt." Ouch, right. But let me ask you, do you buy that? Because I'm not so sure. Look, Salah's been nothing short of phenomenal this season, 38 goals and assists in 29 games, those are numbers that prove he's been fully dialed in for the Reds. Sure, his last 2 games weren't his best, the loss to Spurs in the Carabao Cup and then the draw with Forest, but everyone has an off day. To me, it doesn't scream distraction, it just says he's human. That said, you can't ignore the noise. Earlier this month, there were reports claiming Salah's already got a deal lined up with the Saudi Pro League for when his contract's up, and then, just to stir the pot, Turki Al-Sheikh, the big boss of Saudi Arabia's General Entertainment Authority, posts a mocked-up pic of Salah in an Al-Hilal kit. It's cheeky, isn't it? But it's got people talking. Here's the thing, though, no matter where Salah's future lies, he's still our guy right now, and if you ask me, we need to rally behind him. He's given us so many unforgettable moments, hasn't he? And I reckon he's still got plenty left to give this season. The league, the cups, we're still in the fight, and Salah's going to be key to any success we have. So, whether he stays or goes, let's enjoy every second of having the Egyptian king at Anfield, because players like Mo don't come around often, and when they do, you've got to cherish them. Whatever happens next, you and I both know one thing, Salah's legacy at Liverpool is already cemented. Okay, let's dive into the latest from Anfield, shall we? Arne Slot's been dropping hints about January transfer moves, and you can't help but feel there might be some big decisions coming up. After that frustrating 1-1 draw against Nottingham Forest, it's clear there are a few things to iron out if we're going to keep our title charge on track. Now, let's talk about that Forest game. Liverpool dominated possession, created loads of chances, but just couldn't put the game to bed. Chris Wood's early goal for Forest was a gut punch, wasn't it? But Diogo Jota, as he does, came through with a second-half equaliser. You'd think we'd kick on from there, but the winner just didn't come. Sound familiar? It's the same story as the 2-2 draw against United the other week. It's frustrating because we're playing good football, but we're not turning those performances into wins. Still, here's the thing, we're top of the table. That's right, even with these hiccups, Liverpool's still sitting pretty, thanks to our rivals' struggles. But let's be honest, if we want to keep it that way, something's got to give. Slot knows it, you know it, I know it. Speaking after the Forest match, Slot sounded like a manager who's happy with his squad but knows there's always room for improvement. He said, "You saw today I can still strengthen the team or impact the game with the substitutions I have on the bench," and he's not wrong. We've got depth, and the lads coming off the bench have made a difference time and again this season. But here's the kicker, depth doesn't mean much if we're not converting chances when it matters most. Slot admitted as much, saying, "I told them at halftime not to get frustrated, but I was completely wrong. We created chance after chance after chance." You can sense his frustration, can't you? He's not the type to panic buy in January, and fair play to him for that. Any signings we make need to genuinely improve the squad, not just fill gaps. So, what's next? Well, the rumours are already flying. Defensive reinforcements. Maybe some attacking depth? Possibly. Slot's recruitment's been spot on so far, so you'd back him to bring in the right players if he feels they're needed. And let's not forget, January's a tough market, but if the right opportunity comes along, you'd hope Liverpool pounce on it. One thing's for sure, every decision made this month could be the difference between lifting that Premier League trophy or falling short. The title race is still very much in our hands, and Slot's got the squad to make it happen. Whether he sticks or twists in the transfer window, it's going to be an exciting second half of the season. Alright, mate, now let's have a chat about something that's got every Liverpool supporter holding their breath right now, the rumours surrounding Trent Alexander-Arnold and a potential move to Real Madrid. Yeah, it's a tough one to even think about, isn't it? Our Scouse maestro, the lad who's been pulling the strings from right back for years now, could be swapping Anfield for the Bernabeu this summer. Let's break it down. Trent's contract is set to run out in a few months, and as things stand, there's no sign of him putting pen to paper on a new deal. Now, if you believe the reports coming out of Spain, they're saying it's pretty much a done deal. Real Madrid are expecting him to join them in June. Imagine that, mate, Trent in white instead of red. It's a hard image to picture, isn't it? To make things even spicier, journalist Josep Pedrell from El Chiringuito reckons Madrid might even try to snap him up in January for 35 to 40 million euros. But come on, is that really going to happen? For starters, Madrid probably won't want to fork out that kind of money now when they can just wait a few months and get him for free. And as for Liverpool, there's no way the club's letting someone like Trent leave mid-season, especially when we're still fighting on all fronts. Think about it, even if the club could get 40 million euros for him in January, where do you find a replacement of Trent's quality for that kind of cash? You don't, so, keeping him for the rest of the season feels like the only sensible option, even if it means he might leave for nothing in the summer. Now, can we say this move to Real Madrid is a done deal? Not quite. Things in football change faster than you can say. You'll never walk alone. Fabrizio Romano's weighed in on it, saying that while Madrid are confident about getting Trent, Liverpool aren't giving up. They're going to fight tooth and nail to keep him at Anfield, and you'd expect nothing less. The club knows what Trent means to you, to me, to all of us. He's not just a player, he's one of us. But, let's face it, Madrid's pulling power is massive, and if they're pushing this hard, it's clear they're serious. That said, you never know, maybe Trent's heart is still firmly in Liverpool, and maybe the club can work some magic to keep him here where he belongs. Here's the bottom line, whatever happens, Trent will always be a legend at Anfield, but for now, let's hope the club can sort this out, because I don't know about you, but I'm not ready to see him go just yet. Alright, mate, that's all from me. If you're as passionate about keeping Trent as I am, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to stay in the loop with all the latest from Anfield, and don't forget, you will never walk alone.